Welcome back to our Psalm 40 interview. I'm here with Ashley Grace Stephenson.
But in the spirit of always wanting to grow,
Yes.
there's always places that we would like to improve. One thing that sticks out to me with the church as a whole is there's a lot of division between the different denominations. There's a lot of division between different ideas trying to come together to make the most effective method of spreading the gospel.
Yeah.
And sometimes in those times of contention, along these points of contention, we lose the idea that our job as Christians is to spread love, God's love. And that sometimes doesn't get carried across to everyone. And I think that's the thing that we should be focusing on, is just continuing to spread the message of God in a positive way as best we can. And sometimes that gets lost in the diplomatic and the nuances of running a church and running a community like this. So just continuing to have reminders to stay positive and focus on just love,
Yeah, and it's pretty evident where some of the where some of that love is missing right now. It's a hard time
to see. Yeah, it's a really difficult time to feel so embraced in God's love. It's a hard time for that.
Yeah.
But again, there's so many positives, and there's so many different ways that people are reaching out to each other. Phone calls checking in on our members of our congregation, these personal testimonials, just catching up with people who maybe live across the country and you don't get a chance to see them, and you're like, hey, in this time I can connect with someone who I haven't talked to in a long time. This obviously doesn't outweigh the fact that I can't go to church, but
it's true.
Yeah, but we do our best, and we continue to be as positive as we can.
Yes. Yeah, completely agree with that. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit because you brought it up as well. I did this to Jesse. If you could suggest a way that we could maybe help bridge the generational differences within the church, just off the top of your head, like what's a good way to interact with you if anybody older than you wants to talk?
I think the best way to engage with me is in person. Is you see me, come talk to me.
Just come say hi. Nobody in our church will bite.
I mean, yeah.
There are a couple little ones. There are a couple little ones.
They're a little. No, obviously we're kidding. But sometimes you go to church and you stand in the multi-purpose room and you talk to the people that you know, and that's very comforting. And that's your time to socialize with those people, and that's fantastic. But also, there's many times when I've walked in and there's been people sitting at the tables by themselves or holding a cup of coffee by themselves. And it's our responsibility to continue reaching out to those people who feel like when there's so many members, you can get lost. So continuing to just reach out to people, engage with them, and see what will happen.
I'm sensing a theme here. Well done. Yes. Continue to reach out to those people who you don't know.
I'm very theme oriented.
I did forget to explain that you are a senior, but it leads very well into my next question. Tell us just a tiny bit about your schooling and how the church has been involved at all?
Sure. Like I grew up and I was homeschooled. Homeschooled K through 12. So
K
in
through 6.
K through uh, you there's definitely a stigma around stigma around homeschooling. That people think that we're socially awkward and we can't interact with people and have a difficulty engaging with others, and that the church made sure that wasn't an issue for me, which has been great. Being so actively involved in the youth programs, obviously, just as far as my social life, so many of the people who I know from the youth groups are still my best friends.
Yeah.
So that's been fantastic. And then moving into college, I'm pre-med. I'm a senior at Grand Valley. Pre-med, just trying to get through the classes, and Bob has been a huge supporter of me trying to make that happen. Regular meetings with him. He's definitely been someone who is outside of my family who is like, let's sit down and talk about how you're dealing with everything. Which has just been amazing. He's such an amazing resource. He just called me the other day and was like, "Are you good?" And I was like, "Yes, thank you."
Well, let me tell you, it doesn't stop when you get out of college.
That's good.
He checks in on me from time to time.
Good. That's one of the best things about Bob. There's so many amazing things, but his ability to continue just working with the people and his passion for, I could talk about him all day. He's just awesome. Love him.
Gives me an idea for another Psalm 40.
Yeah, getting through college and having Jesse be there to help me with this Ignite. It's a lot of work outside of school, but having someone else stand there and so many other people come in and be like, oh yeah, I can help you with this, or oh, here's a different idea for a way we could reach out. It's been amazing.
That's awesome. So that's the end of my questions. I just want to make sure that there is an opportunity, if I didn't ask anything, or a topic that you did want to discuss, that I did not bring up.
I think that's it. I'm just very grateful to LaGrave for being such an amazing place where people from different backgrounds, people of different, my parents grew up in 2 different denominations. My mom grew up Catholic, my dad grew up Baptist, and so here they are trying to meet somewhere in the middle with that. And just what a place, what a ministry that we have. So thank you to LaGrave and to its members for continuing to support as much as they can. Thank you to you, Jonah, for making sure that this series happens. You're awesome. We love you. Please don't leave us ever. Thank you.
Well, I cannot sum this up any better than that. Thank you all for tuning in to this interview with Ashley Grace Stephenson, and we will see you all next time.
Bye.